evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of my collection. This should be episode 6, I believe. Episode 5 or episode 6. I can't remember off the top of my head. So this will be another two-parter because I'm doing Action Comics, and I got a lot of Action Comic books. So rather than bore you with all of them on one video, I'll break it up into two. So we're going to start at the very beginning, shall we? Way back in 1938. Action Comics number 1, CGC 9.0, a Loot Crate reprint. So I had to have first appearance of Superman, and I got it. This is a Loot Crate reprint of an exact copy. I have another one that I can read, but this is, I bought this one in 9.0. So, really cool. I have the first appearance of Superman. Next, my officially oldest one, Action Comics 124 and a CGC 1.8. 10-cent golden age goodness. First appearance of Steve Carter, G-Man. I believe this is the first appearance, it's the first book right after he learns how to fly, I believe. Because he learns how to fly in 123 or 125. I know I am one issue off of the first time Superman ever flies. It's really, really cool. Next, got a Silver Age Classic reprint of the first Supergirl in 252. Pretty cool. Action Comics 302. Got this from Discovery Bay. Action Comics 303. Another one from Discovery. 333. Superman turned into a dragon. Attempt to frame, him or make him look like a monster by Lex Luthor. 351. Also from Discovery, one of my favorite colorful covers. Really pretty. 385. The 486. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. 494. Another cool cover. 508. 554. This is a Superman didn't exist, someone had to create him, so that's the two creators of Superman down there as boys. In a world without Superman, they created a Superman to save the world. 583. Action Comics 586. 597. I would love to have Lana and Lois fighting over me. Just saying. 645. 646. A homage to Superman number 1. 646. 651. 654. I like this Action Comics, Detective Comics, Superman crossover. Action Comics 659, Part 3 of the Crisis of the Crimson Kryptonite. A very cool storyline. It ends in Part 4 with Superman proposing to Lois or accepting, one of the two. 660, the death of Lex Luthor. Ooh. Just like everyone else in comics, didn't stick. Action Comics 662, and I also have it in a 7.0 CGC This is one of the first 3 books I ever submitted to CGC. I didn't know a lot back then. I didn't know that you could press or you can do other things. So this is Superman reveals his secret identity to Lois Lane and Silver Banshee appearance. So might not be the best grade, but it's one of the first comics I submitted, and so I probably display it, or I probably own it. Alright, 663. $672. Action Comics 684. Part of the Reign and Death of Superman. Doomsday coming around. Dun dun dun. 685. Part 2 of Funeral for a Friend, an homage to Action Comics #1. So A6, Part 6 of the Funeral for a Friend. Action Comics 687. The first appearance of Eradicator, Superman. This is cover A. And I have cover B in a CGC 9.2. This is actually the very, very first comic book I ever owned. The very first one I ever bought. Because I love Superman, he's my favorite superhero at the time, and I just love the Superman symbol and the green look. I didn't think collecting comic books would be addictive, but just like my tattoos, they're addictive. It's collecting comic books is the only thing that keeps me from spending money on more tattoos. So, there's that story for you. Action Comics 688. 689. I love the Reign of Superman, Death of Superman storyline. My favorite storyline in all of comic books. 690. 691. 692. It's in this episode, or this issue, where we find out exactly how Superman survived his death and came back. So, should be a very big key in my opinion, but what do I know? 693. 6 Action Comics 700. Really cool. And Action Comics 720. The engagement is off. Dun-dun. So that's part 1 of my Action Comics collection. Please stop by next week for part 2. And again, I don't recall the episode or issue number, so you'll have to, or our episode number, so you have to bear with me. So happy collecting, everyone, and I'll see you next week for part 2. Talk to you later.